Hello, my divine, infinite human being family. Today finds Kiki and I on our way to the island of Mozia here off the big island of Sicily. We're going to be taking that boat behind us and we're going to be exploring the island and talking about something that your soul needs to hear. The mother wound, the mother of all wounds.
There is emerging on the face of the earth a new human, an infinite human, and that human is you. Welcome to the Infinite Human Talk Show with your host, Elizabeth Monroy.
So here's Kiki and I. We're taking the boat out from the salt flats. And if you can look carefully, there are men working in the salt flats because salt is still farmed here, and it's excellent salt, sea salt. So we're on our way to the island of Mozia. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Monroy, the author of The Infinite Human, an Ascension Guide for Awakening Infinite Human Beings, the co-creators of the 5D Earth. And today I am in Mozia, an island off the coast of Sicily. And I'm here to address something very, very important that is not only historically a fact, and it reads right here what I'm going to tell you. So it's written right here publicly for all to see. But it's important to understand that what has happened in our, and we call it past, but since there is no past, really, since time is simply a series of flash sequences, there are other parts of you, or we call them past lives, but they're really parts of you that you are still identifying with that make up part of the morphogenic field, Merkaba, of our planet. And these imprints, these impressions keep going out and coming back and going out and coming back, which has kept us in a time loop, which has kept us in patterns, very, very detrimental, destructive karmic patterns. And one of the biggest ones is what is known now in circles as the mother wound, but it really goes deeper than just the wound of our maternal mother or mother figure as we grew up as a child. It's really the missing mancanza, I wanted to say in Italian, of the mother, divine mother, the divine feminine, the mother god that has been usurped and replaced with a false tyrannical male god. So right here I'm reading, and I'm just going to read it so you know I'm reading. I took a picture of it. It says that there was, and we will be visiting it, let's see, where does it go? A temple that was erected to Baal. Okay, so if anyone knows a reconstructed temple of Baal, i.e. Poseidon, which is really important because everyone thinks these gods are different. And I write about it in my book, The Infinite Human, but here it is written right here for all the world to see by the Sicilian historians who have archaeologically dug up this and found what we're going to see inside, which is really, really important. Okay, so this was a temple to Baal, i.e. Poseidon, and sacred pools connected to the Kothan. All right, so we're going to see what these people did as part of their worship practices to Baal or Poseidon. So come with me inside, and this affects you deeply. So it's something, it may be a little bit difficult for you to hear, but it's something your soul needs to hear because as we know the truth, you can heal in lies, and truth heals you, and you need to feel to heal, and then you're free from the whole being a victim cycle, which we're going to break today. So come on inside with me. Hello, Infinite Human Family. Today, I am in the Museum of Whittaker, who was the gentleman who actually uncovered the site. And I want to show you behind me right here. I'm going to turn the camera around. This is a mask that was not there when I came during the COVID thing. And It is a mask that they would put over the face of the child before they sacrificed this child, this infant child, to the god Baal. All right, so this is a historical fact. I'm not making it up. It is actually true history. This mask was in Palermo the last time I came, but now it has been returned, probably because it was very, very, as I said, history repeats itself until you know the true history. And the true history is that this has been happening over and over, where parents, in the good of society, for the good of the village, for whatever, we will be asking that question. What would make a parent take their infant child, or their small child, put this mask over it and kill it? That's the question. So there's the mask, and that's the question. And it's a reverberating question that continues to haunt us until we understand the true history of our planet and begin to break the ancestral miasmic patterns. And I'm going to relate this today to what's going on in the world today, and our own parents that have had this happen from their parents and their parents and their parents. So the question is, what would make a parent kill their own child? What possible thought form, what possible mind control could be in the minds of these probably well-meaning parents that love their children? All parents, how can you not have this bond? How can a mother not have a bond with a child that has grown within her uterus for months and comes out, and the first thing she does is to take it and kill it? What is this mentality, this mind control that caused them to do this? And we'll be investigating that today, and we'll bring it down into your own life story, because this whole part of the pilgrimage that I take you on, either physically when you come here or through cyberspace, is to rewrite your life story into a victor, not a victim. As I and Kiki are walking down this beautiful path, going this way to the Temple of Baal, a true historic fact, I contemplate to myself, and I'd ask you to do so with me, what in God's earth would possess parents to put a mask like that on their helpless, tender, loving child and kill them? What is it inside of us? Many religions say we're sinful, we're evil. There's something evil inside of us. There's something bad. We're inherently bad. That's why we need to pray and ask for forgiveness from God, the Father Almighty. That we need laws. We need people outside of us to run the planet, because we're inherently evil people with original sin. Well, I beg to differ. So I'm just going to go over my own thinking, but please do your own thinking yourself. That's part of this pilgrimage that we are doing here, because it's huge. It's part of the true history of our planet. And the thought forms that have been injected, the practices that have been construed, and the mind control programs of victimizer, of being a martyr, of crucifying yourself, of religious, holy, spiritual people sacrifice themselves for others for the good of the whole. This was imprinted in our DNA, and there is a way that is done scientifically. And I've been studying the mechanics, and will explain them in my next book, Being an Infinite Human and Co-Creating the 5D Earth. The reason you need to hear this you need to contemplate this, and you need to clear this, is because we are now finally, at long last, having a chance to clear our own morphogenic field, restore our divine blueprint. And as we do that, we will also be clearing the morphogenic field with these impressions, these imprints for the entire planet. Hence, the 100 monkey syndrome, as I call it, the 100th monkey syndrome, or, our collective consciousness ascends. So those of us who are grappling with this, even though it may be difficult, and we're the vanguards, we're going ahead, we're treading where only angels fear to tread, and we're paving the way for the rest to clear this, to free ourselves from this time matrix, this time loop, and these mind-controlled, very carefully manipulated, instilled beliefs that cause us to sacrifice ourselves, sacrifice our children, sacrifice our inner child. And since we are all part of the one, we have both been sacrificed as children, all of us. As I walk these beautiful, beautiful fields, I feel a little edge of energy here, kind of almost an anger, but underneath there's probably a deep sadness. And I think to myself, what beliefs cause these parents to do this to their children? What was it that they were told or are led to believe in their religion? And I think, in fact, I asked, the curator of the museum, I asked him what happened. He said, well, who knows what they were thinking. But I can imagine that they were told and they believed that the gods, false gods, were, going to grant them a boon. They were going to allow them to have their crops so the whole village could live. Okay, that's a big belief that they were told. All right, that they could survive the year. They would have a good season, so they would all survive. So it was for the good of the whole. So what are some other reasons? It was for the good. It was to ensure the good of the tribe, of the community. It was everyone was doing it. It was the right thing to do. The gods demanded it. The gods needed to be appeased. The gods needed louche, which I write about in my book, The Infinite Human, that there actually is they're parasitic entities that feed off of the negative, off of the pain and suffering and fear, especially of infants, because they're all just emotional bodies. So here's the temple, and this is where a lot of this happened. These are the ruins behind me. This is called the Temple of Astarte, which is another name for, they're calling it Aphrodite, the goddess of love, the companion of Baal, but it's really not. It is what is known as the bastardized moon goddess misrepresentation of divine feminine. So this is what has become of the true divine feminine, the mother god, the mother arc, the highest blue ray, divine loving, divine feminine aspect. It was degraded into this, which is the temple of, they're calling it Astarte, but it was the companion of Baal. Okay, it was the female aspect of the male deity Baal that ate and killed children. And it was the defamation and degradation of the divine feminine into a hungry mother, fallen dark mother who needed children, infants, to be killed to feed her, to appease her wrath. All right, this goes to the Baphomet. This is really the Baphomet, a total degradation. So this is what we've been living with. We've been cut off from. Hello, I'm here after my trip to Mozia, walking down the streets of Marsala, where the Marsala wine comes from, Kiki and I. And I'm reflecting on the experience we had, and I have some questions to ask you, fresh after that. Of course, the power of this child sacrifice was so powerful, and what it did implement, imprint in our minds was one, it got us in the habit and in the belief system that sacrificing ourselves for the good of others is divine. It is not. The true way of transmuting, of evolving, of helping others is that you assimilate. You become something higher, and what you were doesn't get cut off, sacrificed, cast aside. It is transmuted.